That is like the worst sonic boom in history. What up YouTube, this is Nate from BFG Reviews, and today we're going to be looking at the PlayArts Guile Street Fighter 4 action figure. This one came out a few years ago already, nothing new, but you can still pick this up at your local comic book store. Basically the reason I got this is just because, you know, retro video game guy, I wanted to start trying to find some of those video game cross collectibles with action figures. I kind of bought this one as a test to see if I wanted to try to complete all the Street Fighter action figures. So let's go in depth, take a look at this one, and see if I will indeed pick up the rest of them or if I'm going to drop this guy off at the corner. I'm pretty sure you can pick this up at your local comic book store. I don't think they were hot sellers or anything like that. Some of the notable ones that are still available, Chun-Li, Sakura, Cammy, which she comes with her own issues as well. So, you know, watch reviews on her before you pick her up. I won't spoil anything on that one. Akuma looks like another possible one that I might get. But I chose Guile just because he's one of the characters that I like to use in Street Fighter. And just looking at the window packaging on all of them, he looks pretty badass. But you won't know till you get in and look. Guile comes in measuring at, let's see here, from the bottom of the figure, just a little bit over 9 inches tall. Overall, the sculpt of this action figure looks pretty spot on. Looks like Guile. I like the buffness that they use. You can see all the detail they put on his muscles, and they put veins in there. Really nice. His face is pretty badass, I'll have to admit. It's not a bad sculpt. Maybe a little bit overdone here in the chest, I don't know. You can see his clothing, it's sculpted in as well, so is the necklace here. There are quite a few joints in this action figure that do bother me. I'll point those out as I go along. You can see here all the standard variant PlayArts articulation points. They give him a little bit more of an accentuated butterfly hinge here in his shoulder because Guile, if you play the game, Guile does have a pretty pronounced arch in his back, really proper fighting style with his shoulders forward and everything. You get the standard head articulation. Most of the time he's looking like that, and you get the neck articulation as well. He doesn't have a lot of clothes on, so you can't hide a lot of these, you know, hinges here in his shoulder and in the wrist, balls on his wrist. But yeah, he does have the abdominal crunch, a little bit of a ratchet action happening on his elbow joint there. You do have articulation point in the shoulder as well, and you get the wrist. You can move it around like that. You can see the paint application in the action figure isn't too bad. They do a really nice job of all the accent highlights and lowlights, really help to define all the muscles you can see there in his veins. They could have probably went a little bit more subtle, but again, that's just my personal taste. You can see that doesn't match that. He does have a floating pelvis here, which isn't too bad. Only in some angles though, you can see right through it. Good accent here in the belt. I really do like that. Comes off a little bit. You get standard ratchet articulation, and his face fell off. You get standard ratchet articulation here in his leg. You got a little bit of that action happening as well. I like all the wrinkles that they put in his pants, really nice. You can see how they designed his kneecaps. You know, it's pants, so you don't notice it. If you've seen the Cammy PlayArts action figure, one of the big glaring issues in the Cammy action figure is their knee looks stupidly distended in some angles. This one, not too bad because it's, again, in the pants. You won't notice it. It kind of just gets lost in the folds. However, you can see the double hinge in his knee. So I always like double hinge knees. You can do that as well as that. And in the feet, you can see Guile, he's standing on the PlayArts stage here. Really, you can't get this action figure to stand without this, you know, this PlayArts stage. And I've said it before, I'm not a big fan of these stages. I actually think they're really nasty looking. So already you lose points for me there if I can't get him to stand in the cabinet without it. Really nice job of hiding that hinge in his boot. You got the ankle pivot there, and you actually do have some toe articulation. However, I don't really know when you're going to need that. As with all the PlayArts action figures, you do get a nice collection of accessories and Guile's replacement head, which is, you know, more of an angry look. I'll take this one off here. Personally, I don't like this head as much as I like this one. But just for illustration purposes, let's put on his angry face. This is the sonic boom here. You can see there's a little molded part, and it's supposed to fit on this hand only. Like I said, if you play the game, it's supposed to come out with 2 sonic booms. He has 1, and that didn't impress me too much. And I have a lot of trouble. See, I almost had it there and it just came right off. Had a lot of trouble trying to fit it on. So, you know, when it's on, it looks pretty cool. But why the hell do you only have 1? I want 2, goddammit. Yeah, try to make them do... There you go, fell off. Here. I actually got that on pretty good. However, the thing that really bothers me is that he's so reliant on that PlayArts stage You know, he looks like he needs help standing. And he only has one sonic boom. Anyways, if you want to take the hands off, you just kind of, I always do a couple of turns like that. And his arm came off. There's just a little hole in there. Fits right in like that. This looks more like a Bruce Lee pose. I don't think I've ever seen Guile do this pose before. You are paying $80 for this action figure, which is not bad compared to today's PlayArts action figure, which all kind of retail around 99 bucks. $79.99 for this one isn't too bad. I don't think. The only problem is I think it's a little expensive for me at this point in time. This is more of a personal thing. The sculpt of the action figure isn't too bad. I think they had some issues where they kind of went overboard, especially in his chest. But the overall design of the action figure I thought was lacking a little bit. This did come out a long time ago, and maybe PlayArts have just made more improvements in their toy design. Feels like last year's model. The two main issues I had was that floating pelvis where you can see right through it, and those wrists. Man, that really bothers me. Oh, and also that sonic boom. The one that couldn't stay on for the life of me. I don't know what the hell that was all about. They gave you one instead of two, but I mean, the highlights of this action figure, it is well detailed. The face sculpt looks really cool. And when you get to actually posing him, even with the PlayArts stand, it isn't too bad. It just, this action figure leaves me lacking. It leaves me wanting more. So sad to say this one is probably going back to the comic book store to be traded in for something else. I don't feel like trying to complete the rest of this series. But yeah, more issues than highlights with this action figure. That's why this one's going to be going back. I mean, if you have the money to spend, it isn't a bad collection. I think this looks a lot better with a lot more of the action figures, not just like Guile by himself. He kind of looks lonely in the cabinet. There you go, the first not great action figure on BFG Reviews. Thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to check back on the channel. I have a couple more videos, including contests, giveaways. I'm going to be doing those every couple months. That's it from me, BFG Reviews, Nate. Thank you guys very much for watching. Peace. Peace in the free world. I need a new sign up.